Hello, happy National Poetry Month. My name is Patricia Flaherty Pagan, and I'm happy to be reading my work for you today. Today I'll be sharing with you 2 poems from In the Questions, Poetry by and About Strong Women, which I edited and contributed to for Spider Road Press. My first poem is called Lunch Hour in Isabella's Garden. Green beckons, stalks hide me from churning, grating streetcars. Whispering palm fronds court haughty calla lilies, their noses upturned. Stolen moments away from the why I am, the how I am, the who I am. St. Philliker offers sweet, pungent citrus, still becoming, wrapped in peace. Thank you. My second poem is about the roles that women have and what they give. It's called 11 O'Clock Woman. Nubby towels rest across her forearms. Unwritten clauses thrum through her fingertips. Sagging shoulders insist, today she holds enough. Thank you very much. If you're interested in the Questions, my other collections, or the workshops I teach for Spider Road Press, please check out spiderroadpress.com. Thank you.
For survivors, sexual abuse, like tree roots, can be deep, snarled, hidden. These roots support life, birds, animals, people. Don't end your well-being or your life because of someone else's actions. When things get snarly, reach out to compassionate persons and trauma professionals. Survivors of sexual abuse are not alone. Survivors know the snarls and share hope with survivors. Fun, love, laughter, joy can be part of life too. "2020, mask up and stand away. This COVID mantra remains each day." Roberta and Kathy moved their residence when mid-year this took precedence. Watching birds, lizards, and squirrels becomes life's many pearls. Word search and colors add some gay to Roberta's favorites of the day. Kathy is learning new technology from Flip to the iPhoneology. Aggie and Kathy ventured out with some pending doubt. In Nantucket, we stayed for relaxing adventure and play. A historic whaling family provided our home, while shops and island we did roam. Walking, bus, ferry, taxi were our transporting fancy. Huge waves of water and foam made a relaxing and some terrifying dome. Roberta at assisted living did stay for a pampering adventure getaway. A sitter made visits to Patches the cat, who stayed home on the mat. While combing the island for a look, Kathy shared her new, soon published book. If book gumbo is what you want, please see below in distinguishing font. While celebrating safely in one's personal way, have a wonder-filled holiday. To Orpha, a woman of great tact, intelligence, and experience. You have encouraged me to overlook people's quirk, allow in situations no smirk, mingle at play and at work, handle financial dirt. Consider more than a casual flirt, Enjoy life's given dessert. And when needed, be curt. Happy 99th birthday. Love, Kathy. Thank you.
Beatrice Stewart, poet, author, and artist. My first poem is called Black Folks. Black folks, remember this. Once upon a time, it was forbidden for you to learn to read and write, punishable by death to you or to anyone who taught you. Yet, you have overcome that stumbling block. Black folks, don't you wonder why those in power labeled you less than domestic animals, subhuman, lacking in the ability to learn? Are your domestic animals interested in worldly knowledge? Do they yearn to read and write? Have they learned to speak any human language to broaden their horizons and pursue their personal dreams? I know not one domestic animal that is so interested. Yet, Black folks, you have built the nation with your wit, grit, and determination. Black folks know this. The Constitution was not written for you. But know also, it was not written for poor white folks either. It was written only for the 1/8 of powerful, rich landowners, white men. Black folks, we have overcome that stumbling block. Black folks know this. We are making the nation live up to its constitutional dictates of building a more perfect union, and thereby have given more human rights to all the people in the nation and overcoming another stumbling block. Black folks, know this. In your Black skin, against all the trials, tribulations, and Herculean tasks set before you, you have accomplished much. The heavens above proclaim to you, Black folks, well done. And now you take your well-deserved place among those who have done so much to love and enlighten the human race. Black folks. The second poem is written to a woman friend of mine, whom I met when I came to Houston. It is called Thinking of You, Catherine, with the C. Your musical voice continues to roll over me, gently enveloping me. Love flows through me and outward to you in great gratitude. We reach out to each other across a wide divide. The tinkling of your voice washes over me. Joy fills me. I hold this joy to my heart, yet allow its circulation and radiation outward to all. Across a wide divide, we meet. I vision building an enduring bridge to meet that bridge of loving understanding which you have extended to me. We reach out across many years of diverse experiences, across race, culture, color, religion, and tradition. Across a wide divide, we meet. In our bridging, our minds and hearts open to each other for a new sharing, a greater expansion of consciousness. We reach out to each other across a wide divide. We bridge a gap that once seemed too far, now ours to build simply by the reaching out of our minds, hearts, and hands, bridging two halves into a whole, allowing unhindered egress from you to me, from me to you. We reach out across a wide divide. We bridge that great gap of hearsay, of separatism, of racism, of sexism, and of ageism. We, you and me. We, the whole human race. We, life touching life. We horizontally, we vertically, we across, we a bridge, we a oneness, we a wide divide healed at last. The next poem is titled, Who Will Remember Us? And this has to do with what people that we love, when they die, go away, and we don't see them again, we don't know what happened to them. So I wrote this poem to ease my pain and give me hope. Again, it's titled, Who Will Remember Us? Who will remember us, O pilgrims, as we reach the river's edge, to a spot we've been to in timeless space many times before, to send a loved one on that journey which we all must travel. We can only gather at that river's edge and wave goodbye as our loved ones go drifting seemingly alone into that great unknown. Who will remember us, O pilgrim, as we too reach the river's edge? Who will remember our pains and the heartaches, our shames and misfortunes? Who will look back over our lives and carry some happy memory of us? What loving words remembered? What kind deeds performed? Who will remember what words of love and tenderness whispered in the deep of night? Or the hands stretched out to meet each other, seeking solace in their oneness? Who? Who, O pilgrim, will remember us as we too go drifting seemingly alone into that great unknown? Yet, someday, O pilgrim, someday that great unknown doorway will not be shut closed, dividing us in physical forms from our loved ones living in finer substances. Someday, O pilgrims, we'll see our loved ones go drifting seemingly alone, but to our surprise, the veil will be removed from our eyes, and like the raising of Lazarus, we'll see those same loved ones raised up anew before us, all dressed in finer raiments, and begin their journeys anew on higher levels. And this familiar spot where we've been so many times before will be no more, forevermore. We don't seem to mind being called colored people, Negroes, African Americans, or even the N-word, but we'll be damned before we be called Black. Why? Because for centuries we have allowed the rich, powerful, and mean-spirited to use our Blackness as something to be feared, something negative, something to make use of. Blackness seen as something dirty, something less than. Only a force full of envy and jealousy would use the color of one's skin for its own wicked purposes, and to have the audacity, the temerity, and the wild childish insanity to determine how high one stands on the scale of evolution. Now let us see ourselves as the powerful energy that we are, inherited with the strength, courage, perseverance, and endurance of the Blackness that we are. During the 60s and 70s, we shouted out that Black is beautiful, but rolled right on with, I am Afro-American. I am anything but Black. I say to you that your Black faces are as beautiful as faces of any other color. After all, the only real white folks are born from Black and pale faces and call themselves Black. There are some real Black folks in the world, but the folks who call themselves white are what the red men called them when they landed on these shores, pale faces. In spite of my mixed heritage in America, I am proud to say, Black is me.
Lives I have lived. In one life, I've experienced the joy and the innocence of youth. In another life, the pain that comes from maturity, and now the strength and freedom that come with knowledge. In a different life, I have experienced success as well as failures. And in this life, all the oughta bees and could bees and would bees, but ain't, life of all the wannabes and have to bees and can't. Life is experience after experience, thought after thought, and change after change. And what I had to start changing was trying to answer throughout the course of my life, of trying to answer questions all of my life. Yes, we completed high school and college, grad school, and on the verge of retirement. And I was happy. But then I met you. My life became the big question, why? Why had you brought me so much pain, doubt, hate, and total disbelief in all the things I cherish as good? Friendship, sisterhood, and yes, motherhood. Why do you continue to hurt me? Why did my life change? Why am I always crying? Why? 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 I could never answer all of those questions until I start searching. I went away, so far away that I, Gladys Mae Bullock, didn't even recognize my own self. I tried for so long and for so hard to assimilate into a thing that I didn't even recognize my own self. The only way that I started to recognize myself again was people in my past giving me a much needed piece of my puzzle. With each piece of the puzzle, I can begin to remember a little, identify a little of me. With each piece of the puzzle, that lost soul and spirit was revitalized. With each piece of my puzzle, I could finally see myself as a unique creation of God. Her winds blew in different directions, sometimes calm and oftentimes very turbulent. But whatever directions her winds blew, resiliency has allowed her to endure to this time of finding shade. Shade came by having some gloomy and rainy nights. Shade came by bending down and having enough courage and toughness to rise up and up and up again without ever losing your style. And now the strength to love. You see, the sun is shining and shade is here. You are a larger branch. Those turbulent winds have given you a new season to continue to find shade.
What is the virus? Really? I just rewatched Men in Black. You know, the original, with Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith. The movie gods call it a science fiction action comedy film. Or is it a cautionary tale? Let's explore. Interplanetary refugees live on Earth. All wear human disguises. Tiny and tall, large and small, they all fit in. When the camera zooms in on a pendant on a cat's neck, we see a galaxy, a full galaxy, with stars and planets and moon. A spoiler alert. At the end of the movie, the camera pans out until we see the Earth within a galaxy, within a universe, within a universe, within a universe, within a marble, used as sports by monsters. In this world of giants, we are microbes. Now, reverse our symbiotic spaceship. Travel back to our home. All of this celestial traveling makes me wonder, are we the Earth's viruses, consuming and destroying our host? Are the bacteria and viruses in our bodies part of microscopic universes? In space wars, what takes priority? The largest, the strongest, the cleverest? In our battle with COVID-19, are we Goliath to its David? Will we crush it with brute force? Will it break us with slingshots and stones and ignorance? See the man with the camera in his hand? He is my father. He is in the hills above Havana. He is with Castro. See the people, their faces filled with hope. It is January 8th, 1959. Their faces guide my father's lens. This is only one of the revolutions he will film during his lifetime. I did not know my father until I was 8. He, a quiet man, I, a quiet child. It was not until we spent a year together crisscrossing Europe that I began to glimpse the complexities surrounding him. I was 17 when we drove across the U.S. to board a ship to England. As we docked, I watched with naive curiosity as my father dismantled his gun, hiding pieces among the photo gear. For my father, money was never something to be rationed. We skied the Austrian Alps, stayed at resorts. In Paris, we slept on cots. Some days, one meal in a student cafeteria. Hunger was nothing more than part of the adventure. I am now 18, flying over Soviet territory into West Berlin. It is 1956. The devastation from the World War II bombing is everywhere. When we enter East Berlin, and because we are American tourists, we cross well-guarded checkpoints without incident. The streets are empty, store windows almost the same. The Soviet Friendship Garden is carefully landscaped, but it cannot displace a pervasive gloom. The next morning, my father casually mentions that he needs to return to East Berlin. I am to wait in the West. If he does not return by evening, I am to take our papers, his gun, and catch the first flight back to Germany. By now, I do not ask why. Was I afraid? No. I trusted my father even when danger seemed imminent, and we were careening down the Brenner Pass high in the Alps during a vicious winter storm. Drinking vodka to stay warm, bouncing off a snowbank, staying on the road. I knew he would have command of the car eventually. Years later, as my father lay dying, I asked again why he needed to be in the middle of socio-political upheavals. South Korea, North Korea, Laos, Colombia, Nicaragua. My questions triggered memories that wrote a history across an old man's face. An ever so slight smile tugged at his mouth. A veteran of World War II who enlisted the day after war was declared. An adventurer who said it all.
I just knew I had to be there.